What opinions on the show did you have that have changed? I used to root for Phoebe and Joey to end up together when I watched the show for the first time. I still love their friendship, but now I understand why they've never crossed that line. Ross tends to grow on people. I wasn't a huge fan of him at first either. Now he's my favorite character. I've seen a bunch of people say they think more fondly of him now than they used to. Ross is an acquired taste lol. I also used to dislike Ross. He was by far my least favorite character, but now I'd rank him my second favorite. In the past, I also really like Phoebe, but in recent times she's become my least favorite. I used to think Ross was the least likable character, but every rewatch makes me appreciate how much of the show's comedy depends on David Schwimmer's timing and physical humor. I don't care for Monica and Chandler anymore. I used to like them, but I watched the show every night to fall asleep for over 2 years, and I find myself just not caring for the relationship anymore. They both became so boring and one character instead of two separate people, if that makes sense. I would LL to see how they both would have turned out if they never got together after sleeping together in London. I think they made better friends, and the relationship just feels forced. Also to add, this one might be random, but Joey's dress sense is awful. I hate the constant button shirts. Feel like it takes away from his handsomeness. Grinning face with sweat. Some normal t-shirts wouldn't have hurt LOL. Rolling on the floor laughing. Monica was my favorite after Chandler, and I used to love them together, but wow, she became really crazy after they got engaged. And making Joey extremely dumb towards the end. Wait, NVM, that still pisses me off. And yes, I agree, I used to hate Ross too, but he's so damn funny lol. As an adult, I really feel sorry for Monica in all of my subsequent rewatches. Her parents were horrible to her. It's not just they loved Ross more, they just repeatedly hurt her, and we just laughed it off. Her people-pleasing tendencies make perfect sense when you realize she has spent her whole life trying to get her parents to just like her. If the show were made now, there would be a storyline about Monica cutting off contact with her parents. This is purely based off of looks. I first thought Monica was the prettiest and couldn't understand why Rachel, Jen, got more attention both in the series and in real life. Now that I'm older, I understand attraction is subjective. They both are gorgeous and Jen is really charming. I originally thought the breakup was 100% Ross' fault. Later I realized that Rachel wasn't completely innocent. She should never have let Mark into her apartment, especially knowing how Ross felt about him. It was still Ross' mistake. But Rachel isn't squeaky clean. Phoebe is annoying. I went from thinking that Ross cheated to Ross was taken advantage of by the copy girl and would have loved to have seen Rachel stand up for her man and kick that woman's ass. Monica is not a good person. Not terrible, but she is not a great friend. She feels like she should be one and acts like it, but when push comes to shove, she always chooses herself. It's her way or the highway. Everything she does, whether it's making Thanksgiving dinner or fixing up the apartment or being the hostess, it's always about her. You can blame her upbringing, but it won't change anything. During its run, I was in my 20s, I never got the appeal of just sitting in a coffee house. But these days, I totally get it. Also thought Gunther's infatuation with Rachel was funny in the beginning. Now it comes across as more creepy. Same with Ugly Naked Guy. I'm watching the show from the beginning, and I've noticed a lot of fat shaming. One episode they tell Chandler he's putting on weight, but he literally looks no different. And then the ballroom dancing episode, where Joey helps Mr. Trigger and Monica asks him if he's gay yet. Definitely some awkward moments. During the original run, I was a snarky Altona girl who didn't like popular stuff and kept it on the down low that I watched Friends. I especially bagged on Rachel when the topic came up. Now I openly gush over her wardrobe. The 90s and early 2000s are what I refer to fashion's last hurrah before it went to complete shit. I used to love Monica, but the more times I watched the show, I realized how awfully she treats Chandler towards the end of the series. It gets to the point where he's even slightly afraid of her because of how mean she is. And I hated how her entire personality became her cleanliness and obsession with perfection. It wasn't nearly as bad in the first couple of seasons, and I liked it better then when it was more subtle. Looking back, it's amazing how well that show was cast from the start. how much chemistry they had with each other, and how good their comedic timing was, especially working with a live audience. A lot of that can be considered a lost art these days, and even other durable sitcoms like The Office and It's Always Sunny don't highlight that style of talent. Everyone likes to hate on Ross, but he's the most entertaining character. Monica is the most annoying for me at the moment. Although it's wholly disingenuous to say he cheated, I used to think Ross was a fool for sleeping with Chloe. Now it's clear that she took advantage of him. He told her no to her company multiple times. No means no, Chloe. I used to love the Monica/Chandler proposal episode / the scene where they're both crying as he proposes, but now I think it's really over the top, and their acting is not great. Also, I never really liked Rachel as a character, but as I've grown up, I've come to appreciate how complete her story arc feels, going from a spoiled girl who never had a job to a career woman. I used to think it was this pioneering show for having Carol and Susan get married. Watching today, the entire series is full of homophobic jokes. Could we be any more white trash? I love season 1 for the most, and used to hate it when Monica and Chandler got together. Now I actually enjoyed the second half of the series, minus season 9 LOL. I truly love the Ross/Joey relationship over Chandler and Joey. Rachel is super funny. Used to hate her, and now I look forward to her scenes. Of course, just like everyone else, Ross gets more annoying with every rewatch. Still has the funniest moments of the series though.